Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I've been on the lookout for cool gear and have slowly amassed a wish list of sorts. It ranges from items that look too good to be true, as well as items that are cool simply because of how they can be used. And I've decided to chip away at that list today and show you some of the things that I found that I think are just really cool. The first is the Giriaitus multitool Carabiner, and I hope I pronounced that brand right. I bought the bright pink one just for funsies, but there are other, quite frankly, less obnoxious colors to choose from. This carabiner champions 8 different tools. 6 out of the 8 I would actually use, but anyway, we have a carabiner here that has a rotating locking latch, a rope cutter, which is great for paracord if that's something that you carry, a can opener and a bottle opener, a folding knife, and a ruler and serrated knife, and then a window breaker and slotted screwdriver here at the top. All of the tools, except for the locking latch, when fully opened, have a liner lock that will need to be pressed in order to close them again. The materials used in its construction allow the carabiner to be really high quality and heavy duty, and there's an emphasis there on the heavy part. It's made of high carbon steel, and the manufacturers claim that this weighs 0.74 ounces. I weighed this myself on a scale and found that it actually weighs 4.6 ounces. And given how solid this carabiner is, I would argue a 9th tool could possibly be brass knuckles. Its tensile strength, according to Giriaitus, is 2,698 pounds. And the engineering and weight of this particular carabiner makes it a little overkill for everyday carry the way that I would use it. For rugged outdoor activities, this would be great, and I think that this carabiner is better suited for a hard life instead of mundanely keeping your keys on it, especially at a price point of $21. As much as I like this and actually appreciate a lot of these tools, earlier I mentioned that I would only use 6 of them. The can opener is going to be pretty specific to people who go camping or hiking long term, and I don't do a whole lot of that. But it's the window breaker tool that's something that I'm seeing more and more on EDC gear. I think that particular tool is thrown around so much and usually poorly designed that I've begun to really discount it as an EDC thing. This doesn't have a small or sharp enough point to transfer a lot of energy onto a small surface. This thing is heavy enough that I could break a window by just chucking it as a whole at said window. Another design, and I think flaw is too strong of a word, but hiccup, is where the groove for the serrated knife is. It's just a little too close to the pivot joint, and it makes opening it and closing it really difficult. If this had been moved up a little bit more, I would have had more torque to open it a little easier. I actually had to use a separate tool to get that to open. Another gripe that I had, and this is certainly fixable, is that these joints were just too tight, and I think that's just how the manufacturers had it. So I had to get a separate tool for that as well and loosen it just a touch, and after that it was pretty good for use. All in all, I think this tool lives up to the hype of its advertisement. It's got some quirks, none of which discredit this 8-in-1 carabiner as a whole, and I just think a more niche audience would fully appreciate it. Next is the Nicron 90-degree flashlight. And I bought this for 2 reasons. One was the brand recognition. I knew it'd be a good piece of gear. It's Nicron. The second reason was the phrase 90 degrees, so this flashlight really had my interest piqued. Purchased for $26, I was excited to look at this piece of gear. Made with aluminum alloy and an anodized finish, and weighing in at just a little over an ounce and measuring just under 4 inches long, this flashlight can easily slip into a pocket or a bag. The tail clip is magnetic, and the flashlight comes with a clip. I didn't have to purchase it as an add-on or anything separate like that. Charging can be achieved by one of 3 ways. Plugging in the USB cord that came from the package. You can plug it in at the top here. You can actually take out the battery and charge the battery itself, or you can just swap out an entirely new battery. Though the third option would be my last resort. Battery life is indicated on the on and off switch. And when charging, the center will turn red, and when the battery is full, it will turn green. Quick side note on the button, if you double click it, you can actually lock the flashlight to prevent accidentally turning it on in a pocket or a bag. It's just a nice feature to note. This little Nicron flashlight has 6 light modes available, including moon, low, medium, high, and strobe warning here, strobe, and an SOS feature. The moon setting at 3 lumens can run for about 10 hours on full charge, and at the brightest setting of 400 lumens, it can run for about 35 minutes on full charge. But far and away, the coolest feature is the 90-degree rotating head. Simply twist the top, and now you have a periscope light. The rotating head, SOS feature, and the magnetic base make this a great distress signal for your car if you're ever stuck on the side of a highway. Other uses include attaching this to the brim of your hat for hands-free use, or even as a book light for those who love to read. This flashlight is really unique, super convenient, and honestly just a lot of fun. The twisting top is sort of a fidget toy on top of being a really useful piece of gear. Is this the best flashlight on the planet? No. But is it a decent price with a decent build? Absolutely. I've done a pretty good amount of videos now and purchased a lot of gear to review. And with that, I have to find some way to organize it all. And that led me to this awesome organizer. This is the Cocoon GRID-IT Organizer. It's 10.5 inches long and 7.5 inches wide, and it's as flat as a pancake. There is one zippered pocket on the back for smaller, loose items, like this. And the other side consists of unique rubberized elastic bands that vary in length and alternate between vertical and horizontal, allowing for truly endless versatility. You can place anything in between the elastic bands, from makeup to paints to charging cables, and in my case, to EDC gear. Its size makes it a little impractical for smaller EDC bags. But for computer bags, backpacks, and larger EDC bags, this organizer can slide right in and out and take up very little room. I bought this for $14 and have really enjoyed it so far. I do wish it came with a cover or a sleeve, but that's neither here nor there. I would also like to keep an eye on the longevity of the elasticity. I know that those don't last forever. So aside from that mental note for me, it's not a half bad organizer. We've just crossed the 2,000 subscriber mark, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of those who have tuned in and enjoyed this EDC open diary of mine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.